Hi everybody, welcome back to Tunes Reviews. Today we're going to do another off-the-cuff, no bells and whistles kind of review, as my friend Adam and I have not been getting together, following the social distancing rules, etc., even though he and I do work together. So it could just as easily probably forget the whole thing and make the videos the way that we want to. Certainly the way that I would prefer them to be, but this takes us back to a time when things were much simpler, way back in the day when I had first started reviewing. This is the way we did it. It was, a chat, a more intimate, getting to know each other, hanging out with each other, more like FaceTiming sort of deal. And I personally really like that format, that style. So it's no skin off my nose. Today, I want to talk about 5 fragrances that I have been wearing daily. These are not, 5 fragrances that make me feel good or happy or whatever. I guess subconsciously they do, because I have been gravitating towards these the most. But I just wanted to share with you 5 fragrances that I have really just been kind of grabbing and gravitating toward in the last month or so. These are probably my most worn fragrances in the last month. And like I said, subconsciously, it's mainly because they are very inviting fragrances to me, and they work well in the strange and constantly in flux temperature that New York is. And yeah, I mean, because in springtime, it's basically it's strange here in New York. A couple days ago, it was snowing, and the week before it was 75 degrees. So New York is bipolar in a sense. So here we are, having to deal with the constant fluctuation of the temperature, and then that translates into how we feel and our mood and what we like to wear. So here we go. Starting off at number 1. And there's no order. I mean, these are just what I've been wearing the most of. And by the way, let me throw out there as some honorable mentions that I've been wearing a crap ton of Gallivant Los Angeles, a crap ton of some of Comme des Garçons fragrances, Two Man, crap ton of Gucci Pour Homme 1, Pour Homme 2 as well, Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. And yeah, so those fragrances I tend to wear a lot more in the work setting anyways, but these 5 are really what I've been wearing because I still have to work. I work in the healthcare field, so I'm still going on about my daily business, working 60-70 hours a week doing my thing. And so these fragrances are also pretty safe for the work environment as well. So consider this like a strange concoction of a bunch of things put together. Top 5 video, work sense, easy to get along with sense, whatever you want to call it. But these are just the 5 that I've been gravitating toward for the last month. So starting off at number 1, we have an old favorite of mine. This is Healy's Menthe Fresh. Now, Menthe Fresh, this is my second bottle of. I went through my first 100 ml bottle. I believe they only come in 100 ml. And I had purchased it when I was 22. I'm now 29, and I just had to repurchase bottle number 2 because I had finished it. And the reason why that is because springtime fragrances tend to not be my favorite. Only as of late have I been getting more into more floral fragrances, whether they're kind of pushing the envelope and a little bit more feminine, or if they're masculine, or whatever the case may be. I never really used to like floral up until about maybe 2 years ago. And I have always considered this the absolute best springtime fragrance. And it's going to continue to be that way. I would say probably between this and maybe Green Irish Tweed, but Green Irish Tweed is just so overdone. And this is, to me, the best mint pretty much ever made. There's some contenders for it, but my God, and this is just such an easy to wear, pleasant fragrance. If you have not gotten your nose on this, I highly recommend it. It's a really easy to wear, safe citrus mint blend that is great for spring and summer. If you love transparent fragrances, please check this out. Expect a review on this soon. I owe it. I owe this fragrance big time to some praise and to get it out there. My kitty cat's here to visit me. She's on the windowsill. You can't see her. Next up is a fragrance that I'm kind of late to the game on with its love and admiration. And I do love this house, actually. There's a lot of controversy on whether or not people consider this fragrance house to be like worthy of a niche name, because a lot of the fragrances are just kind of like simplistic, transparent. But I could go on and on about a lot of the fragrances that I absolutely adore from this house. And this one is quickly climbing. It's probably number 3 right now, but I could see it quickly climbing to number 1. And that is by Byredo's Belle d'Afrique. I am not a huge fan of vetiver, but my gosh, is this the most wearable, enjoyable, fresh, sunny, bright, invigorating, juicy vetiver fragrance that I've ever tried. And all while being classic and modern. So it kind of like checks off a lot of those boxes. It's professional, it's youthful, it's modern, it's mature, it's like kind of a contradiction in of itself. And boy, do I love it. It reminds me of something that Jean-Claude Ellena would do, who's, you know, in my top 5 anyways, favorite perfumers ever. So don't fall down. So what are you doing? Sorry, guys. Oh, it's my kitty. Here she is. What are you doing? You looking out the windowsill? Okay. Go be a kitty cat. There you go. You're dropping everything. You're dropping all my stuff. Alright, we'll just leave that there. Sorry, guys. Next up is a oil. And this is not the first or the second time or the third time or the 5th time that I've mentioned this house, but it's a house that I absolutely adore and would love for you guys to check out. This is from Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. This is my 3rd little 5 ml oil of this. This is Goblin. So Goblin is incredibly alluring to me. It is such a strange fragrance by the nature of the fragrance is basically like being this strange concoction of vanilla and patchouli, and it's like a mixture of dirty, like a very dirty, earthy patchouli, almost on the brink of being animalic, with this heavy, sweet, seductive vanilla. And it comes off as like having a really nutty quality to it, very gourmandish, and I absolutely love it. What I do with this is, I just want to kind of show you guys, because I've mentioned this house a few times. If you can see it, I've got like a little bit on my fingertip there. And so I rub it together like this and then just put it through my beard. So it's not specifically a beard oil or anything like that, but that's what I use it for. And so it's just like, I got a different scent in my beard, and then I wear my fragrance on my pulse points and on my wrists and arms and my t-shirt. So yeah, so Black Phoenix Alchemy Labs Goblin, I've been wearing a crap ton of. That's, again, my 3rd bottle. Next up for the actual bottles here is one that I would consider to be my new favorite. I don't think that it's necessarily anything groundbreaking, but I've noticed that I've been wearing a lot more simplistic, linear fragrances. I find enjoyment out of that. I find enjoyment out of crisp, clean, cut to the chase type fragrances where it's what you smell is what you get. Coming off is very professional, sexy, classy. That's what I'm into currently. Now, granted, I do have my animalic fragrances that I do enjoy, and for example, Musk Ravageur is in my top 5 favorites of all time, and it's never not going to be. But this is giving Amouage Reflection and Royal Oud a run for its money. This is Initio Rehab. And at first, I did try this and think that it was just kind of more of a upper scale version of Spice Bomb, which is a wonderful, wonderful fragrance. and I wasn't about to go spend, you know, I got this for I think maybe $2.20, so I got a pretty good deal on the full bottle size, but it's still a lot of money when it's constantly compared to Hemingway by Histoire de Parfum or Spice Bomb. But guys, one of the most natural lavender smelling fragrances in the opening that transitions into this wonderful, beautiful, sexy, spicy fragrance, and I cannot get enough of it. That's like my feel-good fragrance right now. Next up is what kickstarted my recent love for this house, Nishane. Now, Nishane, I have 3 bottles from the house, 2 bottles from the house, and 1 on its way. This fragrance house, everything that I've tried by them, I've absolutely loved. It's been a knock out of the park type fragrance. At least a 9 or 10 out of 10 each time. This one is, I would give a solid 9 out of 10, and I will be reviewing this for summertime, but this is so good. You want to talk about like Aventus comparisons and stuff like that? I just think that this is far superior to Aventus, especially with the batch variation crap. This is Hasavet by Nishane. I actually also purposefully got the smaller bottle because I don't like their big bottles. It's like the cap's offset, they're just big and bulky. I like the 50 ml bottles. I don't know, I'm weird like that, I guess. Because arguably if you buy the bigger bottle, you're saving money with most cases. But that's neither here nor there. I guess that's a whole different tangent about the way, you know, the aesthetic of the fragrances and whatnot. But either way, this fragrance has been wonderful to wear on a daily occasion, for work and for casual use. And last but not least, this is my new favorite from the house of Le Labo. You know, some of my favorites, again, Patchouli 24, Santal 33 is always going to be a favorite of mine and always going to be the favorite from the house because it's just fucking incredible. And I know that there's a ton of people out there that love that fragrance, but I liked it way, way, way before it was cool to like it. Like, just throwing that out there. So, you know, 10 years ago when it came out. But this fragrance is just so freaking good in its simplicity. And I think a lot of people probably consider this to not be worth the price for what you're getting. But my gosh, does it smell beautiful mixed with a little bit of sweat and heat. So I think it's perfect for this time of the year. And that is another 13. So another 13, gorgeous, sparkling, pear, saltiness. Oh, incredible. So that being said, these are 5 fragrances, and well, 6 including the oil, that I have been absolutely loving and cherish wearing on a regular basis. I hope you are all doing well and keeping safe out there. I'm sorry that this is going on in the world, but hopefully it's in the end going to unify us and we all learn humility from it and learn to love each other and ourselves that much more. Let me know what you've been wearing down below, and I will talk to you all soon.